do this and I'm alone and I have to take care of it. But with the community, there's a lot of people that can help you. So that's it's a really great value. So we value interdependence in addition to, you know, the independent spirit. So, yeah, so basically those are our core values.
And I mean, one thing sort of attracted me to this was the concept of, I mean, all work is being sort of valued equally based on the amount of hours that you put in. I mean, in other words, I mean, an hour drive to the airport is the same as, say, an hour preparing taxes for someone, something like that. I mean, there isn't that huge difference in how you value one kind of work with others. I'm just curious, but have there been problems with that setup? You know, because it just seems as if now, I mean, a person who, say, gives a massage for an hour, I mean, sort of in some sense gets the same time dollar with someone who just gives a ride to the airport.
Right, right. So I haven't run into that problem only because it's all, there's no, you know, you're not obligated to give, like let's say you are like a lawyer or a massage therapist, and you know you make money in your normal daily life to pay your bills and to pay your, you know, your car payment or whatever. So what I've, you know, told people is like only offer, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with. So, you know, you don't have to completely, you know, do things for time dollars, but if you want, you can say like, okay, I can do like 4 hours of tax preparation, but what I can offer unlimited is help in your garden, or, you know, I can teach you how to sing, and that's because that's something that they want to do willingly for time dollars, but like maybe they can only do a few hours with their professional skills. But it's all up to the member, so we haven't run into any problems that way. Do you want to jump in on that, or is that?
No, that sounds
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of different questions. I keep hearing, you know, this neighborhood resilience. I mean, what does that mean?
Well, neighborhood resilience kind of encompasses like a lot of things, but basically it's. I think the fundamental thing with that is that, you know, we want to keep things in the neighborhood. So for example, you know, make things as easy as possible and accessible as possible to the people in the neighborhood. So an example of that is something really simple, like growing your own food, or composting, you know, or being able to reuse things in the neighborhood. Again, it's like, it's closing the cycle and making access to things easier and more local. Let's see, so like a good example is this, like I always go back to food because it's the easiest example for me. So what we're doing with the neighborhood fruit picking and with a lot of our, you know, our sharing of resources is that we already have, that's an abundant resource within our community. So that's something that we can share with our neighbors and share with people that don't have any food. So we've been giving the surplus to Union Station Homeless Services. So instead of doing something like, instead of buying a grapefruit that was grown in Florida, then shipped to Pasadena, you know, we're taking advantage of the local, natural, abundant resources. And so, and what these workshops are doing is building on those skills and building on those services and practices that would make a neighborhood more resilient. So we don't have to constantly look outside of our community. Everything's sort of within the community.
I see. I don't recall exactly what it was, but on the website it said that the Arroyo Time Bank has kind of a particular bent, which I don't recall exactly what that is used, but it sort of sounded to me as a kind of a lot of survivalists. Is that true?
Well, I think not necessarily a survivalist, But I think just again, being able to be sustainable and being able to do things for ourselves, because I think we're used to constantly looking outside of the community again and outside of ourselves for solutions. And so it's really great because the first place I always look these days is the time bank. And that was a paradigm shift, because like, for example, if I needed someone to, if I needed someone to help me with a plumbing situation or something, before it's like, oh gosh, what do I do? Go to Craigslist or look at the Yellow Pages or something and try to find someone that then I would have to use money that I earned in the regular world to pay for this person. And now it's like, no, I look into my community. I look to my neighbors first. I look to my community members first and my friends first, as opposed to constantly looking outside. So, and again, and the same thing with food. I mean, I can't say that 100% of my food is grown locally. I'd love it to be, but a good portion of it is. And like, because of my involvement in the time bank, I got to do, I had 10 people last year help me make raised beds. And so I get to start, growing my own food. And, we get to go on these great fruit pickings and sort of not only share fruit, which is amazing, but gain the knowledge to, grow your own things. Yeah.
I think I asked you this before, so in terms of the actual community spaces, I mean, there is this space here. Others, I mean, the urban farmers market, that space is not a community space, right?
No, that's a private residence.
That's private residence, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we really just have this space, and this is a new thing, so we are still figuring out ways of taking advantage of being able to use this space and putting it to good use.
I see. So and I mean, in terms of on the internet, I mean, there's Community Weaver, but that's basically just to track your timed hours, and then there's the email list. I mean, I guess not really there's not really a blog. I mean, what are the other kind of, I guess internet places where people use it as a
we have a Facebook page, and so when you like it, you get all the updates, and there is also the website where we post things. We have a calendar there, a calendar of events, and so there's information about different projects now, and when there's new things, or a big chunk of events, it'll be posted in the news section.
Okay. But in some sense, if people are going to discuss stuff, I guess it sounds as if it's probably going to mainly happen in the Google mailing list.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's a great place to jump in and post a quick request, or I don't think anyone's started a conversation yet, although there's been some small conversations. But yeah, that's a great place to do it.
Yeah, I think there's people start developing offshoots like the Veganistas.
Yeah.
So they start their own little conversations and then invite people to join that group, so the Google groups doesn't get cluttered where you're getting all these emails of various conversations. It's pretty much reserved for requests or announcements, or like the newsletter, or although I don't even know if you use Google Groups for that. Do you?
Not for the newsletter. It's just sent out to your email, your inbox.
Yeah.
So I guess if you thought of something and you wanted to do it, you might put it in the newsletter, and then people might take the discussion offline.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to, say, start a workshop of some kind, you would probably email Janine and say, hey, I want to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Signed up for Community Weaver for the timing.
Right.
Have you run into any problems? Do you know how to post? Do you want to go through any review?
No, I think I think it was fairly straightforward. The only question which I had, I think I asked you, was that I mean, I see posts from 2 years ago. I mean,